Hello students, myself Arundhati Chandorkar, course teacher for HPC, and I am also with the lab LP1 laboratory. So today I will explain the design of fourth assignment from HPC part, that is A4 assignment. So let us start. Institute Vision and Mission. Vision of the Institute. Pune Institute of Computer Technology aspires to be the leader in higher technical education and research of international repute. Mission for that is to be the leading and most sought after institute of education and research in emerging engineering and technology disciplines that attracts, retains, and sustains gifted individuals of significant potential. Department vision and mission. Vision of the department is achieve academic excellence through education in computing, to create intellectual manpower to explore professional, higher educational and social opportunities. Mission for that is to impart learning by educating students with conceptual knowledge and hands-on practices using modern tools, fast technologies and competency skills, thereby igniting the young minds for innovative thinking, professional expertise and research. So let us start. Group A is HPC group from LP1 laboratory. The assignment 4, the problem statement I will focus on is only the binary search using MPI. The platform you will be using for implementation of this assignment is MPI. So the outline for today's session is like this. Installation of MPI, MPI routines or APIs, demonstration of sample MPI programs, binary search using MPI, its design. So let us start. So first I will show you the steps of installation of MPI on both the operating systems, on Windows and as well as Linux operating system. So as per the availability of operating system on your machine, you can try either at your home. So installation of MPI on Windows operating system. So open the following URL. So we are downloading MPI installation from Microsoft.com site. If you open this URL, you will see this caption, MS MPI downloads. Go to that caption and click on this link, the version link I have given. Go there, go to that caption and press the download button. When you will press the download button, you will see these two setup files. One is 7.5 MB size and one is of 2.2 MB size. Just download and install the following. And how to check you are on the correct path is after installation, you should get a folder named Microsoft MPI in C:/program files. So this is the cross check whether I am successful in MPI installation like this. So I am not going to show you the installation actually. You try it at your home. Why? Because it is very simple, though it is a Linux or though it is a Windows. Our focus on in the today's session will be on the structure of MPI program and MPI APIs. So installation I am leaving to you. Any doubts, we are always there to solve. First you try these steps and install. So one thing about Windows is the IDE. You will need Microsoft Visual Studio 2019. So my demonstration will be based on Windows only because I am having Windows operating system on my machine. So some steps regarding Microsoft Visual Studio 2019 are also there. Again, Microsoft Visual Studio we are downloading from Microsoft site. URL I have given, the name of the exe also I have given. Community version you will have to, community edition you will have to download because it is free. So follow these steps. So this community edition Visual Studio installer of Community Edition you will require. If you go for enterprise, it is not free. So this is free. Install it, download that this installer and just install it with default action. Just you will have to go next and next. Don't change anything, and then very important is customize your installation by adding the following packages only, which we require for C++ C development or MPI program development. So these two packages I have installed on my PC: Universal Windows Platform Development and desktop development with C++. If you see the Visual Studio, it's quite large and it consumes a lot of memory. So you can see there Python, .NET, your mobile development, n number of things you can see, but no need to install all. So only customize it like this. So that's all. So now you are with your IDE also, and your MPI, MS MPI installation also with you. Now what remaining is just you should know the structure of the program, and then you can run your Hello MPI program, the first MPI program. That's all. Then installation of MPI on Linux, on Ubuntu and Fedora. I have given here the link. So this is the link from pomrevo.com. So this is the blog, Parag Zambulkar sir's blog. So he is with Linux. So you open this link and follow the steps. Linux installation is quite a lot easy than Windows. So you will not require any IDE like Visual Studio there. So you will need only the compiler and run commands, how to compile and run. So that those commands you will get through this link. So definitely follow this link and install MPI on your Linux without fail. And so this is how the two commands you will need after installation to run or execute your program. This is your compiler, and MPI C++ and MPI run you will get to run your program or execute your program. So here NP switch and 5 is the number of processes. For example, you can control your multi-processing environment, 4, 3, n number of processes you can give here while executing that program. If you don't give any number here, it will take the processes is equal to the number of logical cores from your PC. So I will show you everything, but on Windows. So now focus on the core part of the today's session. So I hope installation you will do nothing, not at all difficult, very user-friendly steps. So follow those steps and get MPI and IDE, whatever required, and be ready for the execution. So focus on the core part now, MPI routines and header files. For all MPI programs, you will need this header file, mpi.h. You will have to include at the beginning using your hash include. Then to initialize the MPI environment, you will need this API, MPI init and command line arguments. So the very first step in any MPI program will be to include this mpi.h and then initialize the MPI environment using MPI init API. Then after initialization, you type your business logic. Again, some APIs I will explain you. And before terminating the program, you should call this API, that is MPI finalize. So it will terminate or the MPI environment which you have initialized at the beginning. So and after doing some cleanup activities and all that. So let us go ahead. One important API to determine the number of processes which are communicating. So you will use MPI com size. The arguments this API takes is first a communicator. First argument it is called as communicator, and second is the user defined variable size. So the number of parallel processes you will get in the size parameter. So size is number of processes, and a bit about this communicator you should know. So now you are with MPI, that is multi-processing environment. So this communicator, it is related to, or this variable is related to the communication domain. So here we are using the default communicator, that is MPI com world. This is the default communicator. So in this communication domain, we are allowing all the processes to communicate with each other without any restriction. So within the groups also, you can form the groups also, different communicators, but just let us start with this default communicator. So all the processes are allowed to communicate with each other. So these are the two parameters this API will need, and it will return the number of processes in the size variable. So this also you will need in your program. So next API is to get the rank of a process. So MPI com rank API you will be using, and as you are dealing with multi-processing, so each process naturally it is having the rank which under the common communicator domain, under the common communicator. The two parameters this API takes is first is communicator, the same common default communicator, and the rank user defined variable. So you will get the rank of a process in this variable rank. Okay. So let us go ahead with the very first Hello MPI program. So first I will explain you the structure of this program, and then I will demonstrate the program. I will actually execute this program on my machine. So please be with me. Let me zoom it. So now it is visible, I think. So this is the first parallel Hello World program using MPI. So as I said, first you will have to include mpi.h library. Go to the main, and here some node variable I have declared, and I am initializing the MPI environment using MPI init API. Next, here I have called MPI com rank API to get the rank or the process ID, rank of the process, and that rank I will get in the node. Here I am not using the second API which I had shown you, the size, related to size, because I don't need here. So my need is just I am printing hello world from so and so node. So how many nodes are there from your machine? So that's it. So only one API I am using, MPI com rank, apart from MPI init. So the logic is only just I want to get printed hello world from those many number of nodes, and the node number rank I am here printing, and after that I am using the terminating the MPI environment, that is using MPI finalize. So I hope this is simple program, it is clear. Now let me close it and I will show you the execution of this program. So let me open the Visual Studio. I am demonstrating it on my window machine. So operating system is not a matter. Whichever operating system you should be able to run it or execute it and see the results. The focus or the important thing is the structure of the program, how that program should be organized. So now let us go ahead. I will create new project from scratch. Just let me open that program also, and I will show you the path setting also only for this hello world. Again I will do everything from scratch. So window users, you will get better understanding how to run. Copy. This is my Visual Studio. I have opened it. I am creating a new project. I am creating a new project. I am selecting empty project. I am selecting empty project. Here I will give the name. Hello World. Hello World API. Hello World API. Project name I will give, and the solution name or the directory name I am keeping the same, Hello World MPI. And now I will create the project in Visual Studio. So it will be helpful for you, for the Windows users also, if they don't know. This studio is just an IDE. So now project it is opened, named Hello World MPI. So I will add the source file. Add. I will do new item, and I will add this source file. Just now which I had shown you. I will just paste that file, Hello World program file, source code here. That's it. Yeah. So I have pasted the same program here. Just let again I will show you. Same program, MPI in it. Then rank I'm getting, and just I am printing hello world from that particular rank, node having that particular rank, and finalize. So now some path settings. So these lines, red lines, are the errors. So errors are coming for the mpi.h. So now MPI library, MS MPI we had already installed on this machine. I have already installed in that C colon program files, that everything it is there. So what to do? You will have to set the paths. You will have to bring the include and lib directories of MPI into the your Visual Studio environment. So how? And then this error will go, and then we will build this solution and get the results. I hope it is clear. So let us, I will show you that also. Right click on your program, project, go to the properties, then go to the C++, just be with me. Go to the additional include directories. Here, edit it. From here, you are going to give the path. Yeah, a browse browse button has come. Now browse it like this PC. Go to C colon program files x86. One more thing also now I will show you. So to check the installation, I told you to check program files. Now to set the paths here, you will have to follow this path. Go to program files x86. From that, go to Microsoft SDKs. In that, go to the MPI folder, and here you will see the include and lib for our MPI installation. Select include and go select folder. So that path is included here. Press OK. You are with that path, and don't forget to press apply button. So then it is applied. This is regarding include directories of MPI. Now one more thing, go to the linker option, go to the general option from the linker, go to the additional libraries, again here edit it, again you should browse it from here, and again go to the same, that is C colon program files x86. From that, go to Microsoft SDKs. From that, go to MPI, go to the lib, and go to the x86 and select that folder. That's it. And now this is how the lib path you are setting of our MPI installation. And don't forget to click the apply. So for Windows, it a bit overhead of this path setting, and that you will have to bear. For Linux, it's quite easy because you are using your IDE. Okay. So now one more thing, input. So remember only these three options: C++ option for include, linker option for libraries, and input option I will show you. Go to the input option, go to the additional dependencies, and here again edit it, and here you will have to write mslib, mslib dot mpi. Mslib dot mpi. Press OK. That also you apply. And then you come out. So these three things you should do, otherwise you will not be in a position to execute the program. So it is applied. Now everything is okay. Just see. The moment I set the path, that red line or that error has removed. Error is removed. Now it's time to build the application. So the program structure, APIs, everything now you are comfortable with. Now actually it's the time to see the result. So let me first build this project to get the exe, and then I will show you how to run that exe. Okay, I am building the solution. Just see. It is giving me some error. Missing type specifier int assume. I will rebuild it. It's building. Cannot open file mslib.mpi. Let us check. Sorry, ms. Let us check. Go to the properties. Input. Sorry, it is msmpi. msmpi.lib. By mistake I had given that, so that also you learn how to get rid of errors. The name of the lib file is msmpi.lib. Sorry, I'm applying it. And okay, now I am building the solution. Yeah. So now the build is successful. Now focus on this path. So I am having the exe, hello world mpi.exe. So now go, build is successful. We are with the exe of the program. Now follow this path from the command line, and then I will show you how to execute that exe. So this path I have highlighted. You will need to go to that path. So please be with me. So already I am in my user directory. So let me go to the source then. I am following this path. Be with me. CD source. From source I am going to repos. From repos I am going to the directory of my solution. That is hello world mpi. I will go to there. CD hello world mpi. Okay, then I will go to the debug folder. CD debug. I will go to the debug folder, and in my debug folder, my exe is there. Is it hello world mpi.exe. Now it's time to run that exe, execute how with mpi exec command, mpi exec, and the name of the exe is hello world MPI dot exe. So I will execute it. Just see here. As a user, I haven't given the process number of processes. So it is printing the hello world from the nodes, say 8 nodes from my machine. So 8 logical processors. It is printing 8 hello world from 8 processors, logical processors from my laptop. So now again I will show you one thing. If I just give here hyphen MP3, what happens? Hyphen MP. Only the NP. Only one change I have made in the above command, and let us see what happens. So it is printing 3 times. The number of processes given as given by the user. So I hope it is clear. So let us be with the terminal and again come back to our PPT. Some more APIs or important APIs I will show you, that is send and receive, and after that one more program. Okay, so be with me. Okay. Closing the Visual Studio also. So by mistake I closed the PPT. Just a minute. Yeah. So these routines, these APIs we had seen and used also in the first Hello World program, and the results are also you had seen. Now, some more MPI routines or APIs. So basic, because this is a message passing paradigm. So send API and receive, uh, and the parameters that I will explain. Int or this MPI send API. The name of the API is MPI send, and these 6 parameters it takes as the input arguments. So I will explain with the help of next slide. So what are the arguments which are needed for MPI send API? So one is buffer. First, it is in sequence. Buffer, data to be sent. It holds. Count is the number of entries in the buffer. Then data type is data type of the data in the buffer. Suppose integer is there, so MPI int you will have to send like this. So the allowed data types of MPI you can just go through. So char and all that. So DST, destination, is the rank of the destination process to which process you will have to send that message. Tag is to distinguish different types of messages. Here I am using tag as 0 in the next program. And common, you know now this default communicator. So MPI com word, we will provide this parameter. So default communicator, we are allowing all the processes to communicate in that communication domain. So on the similar lines, to receive a message from a process, MPI receive API you will have to use, and similar on the similar lines, the arguments are there in contrast with the send. So only the last is the status argument or status parameter. So in the status, I will show you in the program also. In the status parameter, the sender who is receiving the message, who is collecting, sender process who is collecting the messages, it will come to know the rank of the process from which it is collecting that particular message. So sender, receiving process will come to know the rank of the sender from this status variable. So it is a MPI status. It is internal data structure of MPI, and a variable we are using it. So that status dot MPI source field of this internal data structure, it holds the sender rank of the sender. So that I will show you with the help of example. So rest of the attributes are very similar, oriented with respect to receive. So just go through it. Buff, say data, it will be collected in that buffer from the receiver end. Count is the number of entries in the buffer. Data type will be remaining the same. So instead of destination here, now it is a source. So rank of source process, you will have to write in that receive MPI receive API. Tag will be the same and default communicator will be the same, plus one more status attribute you will have to write there, user defined variable status, that it is not listed in this table. So now next program, again I will explain and execute, and then after that we will discuss the design of assignment. So demo, it is array addition.c. First let me explain it, and then I will show you the execution. So this is array addition, globally one array, 10, just for the sake of demonstration I have declared it only 10. So you are obviously, we will be testing on large data set. So let us say here I am dealing with only 10 elements, first 10 elements 1 to 10. So how this array addition it is done using MPI is, so suppose there are 5 processes I am controlling. So I am dealing with 5 processes. So the 0th process I am calling it as a root process, and remaining 4 I am calling them as a slave processes. So you will have to write the code for root, write the code for slave. So as per this program, the root process task or the logic which I have written here in the part of root process is just root process task is to distribute divide this array into some parts and distribute the array parts to different slaves. So that here 10 elements are there, and let us say 5 processes including root we are dealing with. So 2 elements plus per process. So root also will have 2 elements, is it? So this is the first logic you will have to write in your root process, division of the array, and then root process you will have to use send APIs. So the next job of the root is to send these partial array elements to all the slaves using send API just now which we have discussed, is it? So once it is sent, the receiver end or the slaves will write, or what you will write in the slave part is the receive. You will use their receive API. Slaves should receive those partial parts of the array, and after that, after receiving, slaves will calculate the partial sums like this. Suppose 1 and 2 is with root, 3 and 4 with the first slave. So the first slave process it will calculate 4 plus 3. 5 and 6 it is with the second slave, so it will calculate the addition partial sum, next partial sum by next slave, and next partial sum by the last slave, like this. And after the calculation of the partial sums by each slave, now it's job of the slaves to send those partial sums parallelly to the root process. Now they will again use the send API to send the partial results to the root. And again, finally, in the root process, you will use again the receive. So root will receive the partial sums from all the slaves, is it? So there you are writing actually the receive API. So that's all. And finally, the root will print, add all the partial sums, and it will print the total sum, is it? So this is how the architecture of the program is. And generally, when you write the MPI programs, so that's this distribution you will have to do distribution. You will have to write. You will have to design the program like that only. So some root or master and slaves like you will have to organize your program like this. So I am not going line by line because this is not actually the a way to show you. Now you are in BE, just as per the discussion of the architecture of this program, how the distribution of elements, partial sum collection and all that. I will just go through this program and I will focus on the APIs. So I think the outline it is clear. So directly go to the main. Here, so you will see MPI status data structure, internal data structure status variable I have declared, and some temporary variables to hold the number of processes, rank of the processes, and n number of things I have declared. So now just focus on this variable you will need in the receive call. I hope you can recollect. Next, this is MPI init. I have called the API. I told you about this to initialize, and then again I have written. I have called these two APIs: MPI com rank and MPI com size. So in PID you will get the rank of the process, and in NPI variable you will get the number of processes. And here is the code for master process. So I am calling master process as PID number 0. So check, so its job is to calculate elements per process first and just distribute the portion of the array to the child processes or the slave processes to calculate partial sum, as I told you. So here in the loop it is using 2 times MPI send. Why? So the parameters in the bracket, just at least for one I will explain. I think 2 times why it is using 2 times MPI send. Why? First it is sending the elements per process, suppose let us say 2 as per our discussion, and after that it is sending the actual elements. That's why. So just map these one, I think one send I will show you. So first is elements per process, that is buffer. So here you will say you will send 2 in that buffer. Here is the size of the buffer. Why it is written 1? Because 2 only the size of partial array it is. Then MPI int integer I am sending. Then the destination I am sending to what process, to which process, the rank of the destination. Tag I am using 0, type 0 messages, and the word your common communicator or default communicator. So this, try to interpret these MPI send and try to develop your own. So this first send will send the number of elements per process, and here next send, so this will send the actual elements. Let us say 10 elements, and per process I am sending 2. So here 2 buffers, in buffer you will actually write those 2 elements. Buffer will hold those 2 elements, and like this. So here the size of the buffer is 2 here. Let us say for example elements per process, and rest of the things will remain same. So 2 sends as per my design. Let us go through it quickly. Then some leftover calculations are done with 2 sends again, and please go through it afterwards. And then master process will add its own subarray also, and here it is printed also, master. So how many elements are allocated to master, it will just add and it will print, and then after that it will collect the partial sums from remaining processes, slaves, is it? So here it will again, it will do the MPI receive. It will do MPI receive, focus on this API. MPI receive, so in temp buffer it will receive partial sums. The number is 1, count is 1, because per process or per slave it is receiving the data type, then MPI any source, and then 0, then MPI common world, and then status. Here what is MPI any source? So here what I told you while explaining that receive API is, here it is the rank of your this is a receive API, so rank of the sender. So any source, from any source it is receiving, like, so that's why this is written here. And so status, something about status. So here I have declared int sender, and I am storing status.mpi source in that sender variable, so that I can print like this: partial sum returned from so and so process, and the partial sum also. So focus on this printf, and I will show you the results also. So partial sum returned from process %d. Partial sum returned from process sender and temp. So here we are collecting the partial, root is collecting the partial sum in temp, and here sender variable I have stored the status.mpi source. So from which process, from which slave process that partial sum it is coming, that also I am printing. Is it? And just it's your normal logic, go on adding sum is equal to sum plus temp and come out of the loop. Let root collect all the partial sums from slaves, and it's finally it is printing the whole sum. So that is the logic written in the root part, or the by the root process. On the similar lines, else part is your slave processes. So slave will do MPI receive. Slave will do MPI receive from the master, each slave. So all the slaves, they are receiving their parts in parallel. I hope you understand, because we have done initialize the MPI environment, is it? So everything it is happening parallelly across the course. Then what? Again receive, it is done. It has done 2 times as send. No need to explain now receive. Next job of the slave is to calculate the partial sum. So as simple as that. And again it is sending. Each slave is sending the partial sum to the root process using the send API. So that you manage. And then after that, so clean up everything. You write call MPI finalize API, and then you stop. So like this. So 2 parts. First is master part, and then second is slave part. This is how you will have to write any logic for the MPI, any MPI program. So let me close this, and I will show you the results also. So some printfs you just remember. So what we are printing? We are printing the root is printing the partial sums also. So these printfs you at least remember. Root is printing partial sum calculated by itself. Its part it is printing, plus it is printing the partial sums also, and from which process it is, which slave it is receiving the partial sum, it is also printing. Root is printing, and it is printing the total sum also, plus the slave processes are printing the partial sums calculated by themselves. So why I am telling you? So that you can map the results with the source code. So all these things we are printing. So let me close this, and let me show you the demonstration of this simple array addition program. Again I will you'll open the Visual Studio. Already I have done the path setting and all that to save the time, and here directly I am opening it now, this solution project. So let it open. So see, it is opened. The name of the project is Demo Array Addition. So here you are not seeing I am include hash include mpi.h. So red line here you are not seeing. Why? Because the path setting which I had shown you for the hello world already I had done it. Is it? That's why. So everything is fine now. Let us build this program. The same program I have pasted it here, which just now I had shown you, master slave logic. Same notepad file I have pasted here. Now I am building it. So I have not made any changes, so I will rebuild it, and I will show you the exe. So please be with me. Yeah, it is rebuilded, build successful, and now you know this by hello world. So the demo array addition.exe is the name of my exe. Now I will show you how to run it. So go to the command prompt, go to the follow that path, repose, follow that path. So don't get confused, I am following this path because I want to run that exe with mpi exec. Repose, after that go through that directory, cd demo array addition. This is the name given by me. Sorry, some spelling mistake. ARR addition. Let me check. It is DEMP. By mistake, it is DEMP. Sorry. So typo mistake. The name instead of demo, I typed DEMP. DEMP. Yeah, and I forgot to do it. So DEMP in this directory, but the name of the project I have changed. So please bear with it. Now go to the debug folder. Yeah, and now do mpi exec, and the name of the exe that I have changed. It is the demo array addition. The project name I changed. I forgot to change this directory name. I hope it is clear. Don't get confused. So I'm running that exe, generated exe. Just see what happens. So first I will show you without giving the number of processes. So my machine, it is having 8 logical cores. So with the help of these cores, now it will do that array addition. See here. Yeah. So partial sum calculated by process 2, it is displaying something like that. Partial sum calculated by process so and so. So like this. So first it is displaying the partial sums calculated by each process. So just focus on the process IDs 1, 3, 1, then 5, 6. So I am calling root as 0. So sum calculated by root. So root's part is 1. Sum calculated by root process is 1. Yeah, finally the array, sum of array printed by root is 55. So just try to match it. What is this printing? Partial sum calculated by process 2, 3. Partial sum calculated by process 7 as per the distribution. So these are the partial sums calculated by slaves. So how many slaves? Total 8 cores I am having, out of which one is root. So 7 slaves. So these are slaves processes. 2, 7, 6, 5, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 7. And just see. Partial sum returned from process 4, it is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, these are 7 and 1 is root. So that's why. So just try to match. Partial sum returned from process 4, it is 5. Whereas check it with it. Partial sum returned from process 4, it is 5. Similarly, partial sum calculated by process 4, I am not getting calculated by process 4. So let us map like this. Partial sum returned from process 3 is 4. Partial sum calculated by process 3 is 4. So it is matching. So the partial results are also I am showing you, and the root part. So the final sum printed by root is 5. Now let us again run this program with the number of processes given by the user. So -np, suppose 3 processes. I want to do this work with the help of 3 processors only. So let us see what happens. So result you are getting partial sum calculated by process 2, partial sum calculated by process 1, and sum calculated by root. This also it is displaying, and partial sum returned from process 1 is 15, calculated is 15. Partial sum returned from process 2 is 34, calculated is 34. So these printfs are from your root logic and your slaves logic. So just try to match it. There was a bit crowded screen in the previous case. Now I hope you are convinced. So three processes are there. One is root and two are the slaves. I hope it is clear. So this is how you should structure. This is the structure of your MPI program, and the results are also with you. So now again come back to the PPT. Yeah, last point. So the second demonstration also is over. So now come on to the assignment design. So the whole program, obviously, I will not show you how to. You are going to implement it. So on the similar lines, you will be doing the binary search using MPI. So design I am explaining here. Just be with me. Initialize your MPI environment. API, you know now. MPI initialize. Get the number of processes. Get the rank of the processes. The API is also so try to go through these steps on the top of the program which just now we have discussed and seen the results also, array addition. Okay, so same APIs you are using. Next is what the root is supposed to do in your assignment. So again same, divide the elements of input array into parts is the job given to the root, and send the elements in each part to the remaining processes, that is the slaves, and assign one part of the array to itself also. So division. And then what to do? What root will do? Root process call the binary search function on the part of array assigned to itself. So this is the task given to root. So here you are calling the binary search, iterative binary search. Again, the root, it is calling the binary search function on its part, but the binary search function will run in serial, is it? So the parallelism here we are just breaking that array into parts, and we are assigning the parts to slaves, and each slave will call and root also its part the binary search algorithm. So that's it. So this the slave process's task is receive the individual parts from the array from the root process. They will receive, and all slaves will parallelly call that binary search. Call binary search function on the received part of the array. The moment any portion, the moment the given key will be found at in any portion, that will be flat, and you will get the output. So like this is one of the design what I want to share with you. So that's this is the binary search iterative, your normal algorithm. Recursive version is also there. But the thing is to tell that actually we are not parallelizing the logic of this binary search, but using MPI we have distributed the elements from master to slaves. So this is one variation I have shown you. So now you come up with your own design, and again follow the same guidelines for HPC. Your serial to parallel complexity, time measurement, and conclusion and analysis. So that is applicable to all assignments. This today I discussed only the binary search. So this is the compulsory as per the syllabus, and if there is a or part also, some breadth first search, depth first search. So you choose and just go as per your batch in charge guidelines, and on the parallel lines you just think how you will design that next search assignment. So this is everything about the assignment A4 only. A4. So this before ending, again we will revise as per the outline what we had seen today, and then I will end the lecture. References I will show you. Forgot. So these are the references. Anant Grama and all the authors. Introduction to Parallel Computing. This is the textbook for HPC. So actually the MPI APIs also, they are nicely explained in. If you want, you can take the reference of that also. Otherwise, MPI APIs you will get anywhere from net, but the whole chapter is there So the authors, they have nicely explained the MPI also, right from the theory. It's a very good chapter from this book, though it is not in your theory as such, that chapter, but definitely you will find it useful, that chapter. So definitely read it. So in theory, obviously we had seen in first unit the major two paradigms, that is shared memory and message passing. So at that time I had also given that reference. So in the laboratory actually you are going to implement the shared memory with shared address space paradigm with OpenMP, and message passing paradigm with MPI. So that's how you can now explore to the next level. So this book is very nice resource for that. So definitely you go through that chapter. So right from the theory of MPI you can learn there, and plus for one chapter for MPI is also there. So this is a very nice reference. Then this blog, Zambulkar sir's blog, I have referred www.comrevo.com, especially for the Linux, because I haven't tried this installation on Linux. So I have referred the steps from his blog. And the last is the site URL, Microsoft site URL for Windows users to install the MPI. Also, I have referred, and obviously the same site, Visual Studio, also you can download. So this reference I have uh, written here. So as per the outline, uh, as per the outline in today's session, you learned installation of MPI on both Windows and Linux operating system. Then some important MPI routines or APIs we had seen, which you are going to use in the design of your assignment and you are implementing. Then I have demonstrated two sample programs. One is Hello World and second is Array Addition. And after that, on the top of these results and all design, we discussed the binary search using MPI on the design level. So that is the end of today's session, students. Thank you.